Hey, so I'm going to record this session just to showcase the feature for the org-to-org profile deployments because the use case yesterday when we were showcasing the demo, one of the demo that you guys requested were you want to see the comparison screen and the full metadata for the profile. So I would like to show that. So I'm going to share my screen in a second. Okay. So in Opsera, we have the profile org-to-org deployment task. So what that means is that technically it does a comparison from the source org, and it also shows a comparison to the destination org. So for example, in your use case, you've developed a profile on the source org, and also this profile exists on the destination org, but you have made certain changes on the source org, but you want to compare it even before you want to initiate a deployment, this task comes in handy and you will be able to see with the comparison screen what's missing and also the conflicts and also what's changed in the source org and also to the destination org. So we'll be using the profile task details. This is the task that does this comparison. Just for assumption's sake, we have the org set up. The connection is set up between org A and also the org B. So this task, once set up, it can be run n number of times. So it's a one-time setup. So I'm going to be running this task right now. So if you see here, you have a source org and you also have a target org. So in this case, my source org is org B and the target org is demo C. Once I confirm the settings, you have two options here. As I mentioned in yesterday's demo, you have a GUI screen where you can see and cherry pick what parts or what metadata type within a profile you want to select. And you also have the XML file upload process. But for our demo purposes, for this use case, we would be using the manual GUI. So I'm going to click on the start a new instance. So in this case, just to give a background, a profile has different permissions tied to it. It has an Apex class permissions, Apex page permissions, custom field permissions, custom application permissions, custom object permissions. So there's different types to it. So in this case, I would want to select all the metadata types within a profile. So once that's done, I'm going to click on to the next screen. So it's just taking its time. It's trying to retrieve the components. So what I would do in the screen is that we have given you the filtering capability. In this case, what I would do is I would select the component type as profile and the component name. In this case, my profile name is a business profile. So this is the profile that exists in both the orgs, in the source org and also the target org. I would also want to add an additional filter. What this does is that now, if you have a use case where you've just given a custom object permissions on a profile, then you would just select a custom object. If you have given just custom field permissions, you would just select the custom field because you want to be able to retrieve only the permissions tied to that specific metadata type or the specific metadata changes that you did within an org. So in this case, I would want to select as many metadata types within a profile as I can so that I would be able to see the full comparison set for that specific profile. So I'm going to select the Apex class, custom application, custom field, custom object, layout, and profile. These are some of the standard profile changes that we do within a profile. I don't think we have to use the profile here, so I'm going to deselect that. And after that, if you see, when I scroll down, there's 1,259 files. I would be clicking on that. So once the retrieval is complete, you guys can see that you have the source org. This is the source org, and this is the destination org. You can do a comparison between the source and the destination. You can see that there's a conflict. That means that it tells you what the conflict is. So for example, in the source file, it's false. In the destination file, it's true. The other interesting feature that we have is that you see this the little patch highlighted in red and in green. So if you click on that, it exactly tells you where the conflicts are. So it gives you an easy capability for you to see where the conflicts are. So you click on that and you will be able to see all the conflicts. So it retrieves all the file, like all the profile file. In this case, if you see, there's tons of lines in it. But what we need to care about is that if you're doing a comparison, it gives you where the conflicts are happening, in which line it's happening, and for what type of metadata type it's happening. And the other interesting feature that we have, which is very useful, is that let's say you know that you've made certain settings for your custom object. So what I would do is I would click on custom object type. And in a second, if you see for this object account, you see that there's read permission checked, create permission checked, edit permission checked, delete, view all records checked, and on modify all records checked. And you can do that comparison. So this is a pretty cool feature because you don't have to go through the whole XML file, but you can see for that individual metadata type within a profile and for that specific metadata type, what changes have been made. In this case, I just had to select custom object from here. And let's take an example, right? In your source org, if there's an object and you made custom object permission changes on that object, you can just come here, change the view and click custom object. And then for your specific object, you can have a graphical representation of what the changes are. In this case, this is on your target. You see that everything's unchecked, and this is your source, and for the account object, everything is checked. This is pretty handy. You not only do that for just custom object, you can do that for all the metadata types within a profile. For example, Apex class, custom permission flow, custom field, etc. And this view is pretty similar to what you see in Salesforce. So it's pretty handy. You don't have to go to the XML and scan through all your changes, but you can also toggle for a quick, handy view where you're able to see within the GUI. The other thing is that it also tells you where the conflict is. So that means if there's conflict, you would see this a little thing highlighted in orange saying that there's a conflict. So this is about what you have requested yesterday, and this is how you want to see what changes are made within a profile, and also do a comparison screen where you can see what is within a profile in your source and also your destination. If you guys have any questions after sending the video, please do shoot us back with any questions or additional queries. We will be more than happy to answer you.